So I'm a filmmaker, content creator, and also a media personnel. But where I come from, it wasn't something even the teachers would applaud you for. The teachers would want you to be something like a pilot, a doctor, a lawyer. There are certain things I really enjoyed doing, but I couldn't do it, especially with my mom watching. My passion was still in art and media. My story is a crazy one. I had to drop out of my first program. Then I started working so that I can pay my tuition for the program I wanted to do. I would carry cables. I used to tell my friends, like, one day I'll have a media company.
You have this passion, you have this idea that you want to turn into something, but you need that little motivation.
Right now, I also have a film showing in France. I wrote the film, I directed it, I produced it as well. Then I also did like the documentary for American rapper and business mogul Rick Ross. And in my country, I also did like a series film which broke about 8 records. That's when I was approached by a French company like Gonella Productions, like, we want your film, want to promote it, want to sell it worldwide. Because I myself, I can also do sign language. Yeah.
What does this mean?
Huh?
What does this mean?
What? No, that means nothing. They received, I think, over 18,000 films that year. Then I'm hearing, hi, are we talking to Teekay Duncan? At first you think it's a prank or something like that. Like, stop playing, man. Who is this?
You're lucky.
Who is this? Is this Moses?
You even insult them.
Yeah, Moses, stop playing. They liked what I had done. Then if you make it to the top 10, we would like you to come through to Switzerland as well. To them, it was more like a no-brainer. I'll choose Canada over China.
Yeah.
But to them, I gave them a shocker, like, nah, going to China. Right now, I feel like everything is moving along the way of content creation.
So, all right, guys, welcome back to another lovely episode on Everyday Life in China. Now, today promises to be an amazing episode. Guess why? I have met a very amazing, fantastic person here with me. And I feel like what he's been doing is so great and amazing. I feel like it's something that I have to put out there, something that is worthy to encourage everyone that has that desire, that has that passion to get into media work, to get into content creation. So I have brought here with me in the studio a very special guest who is going to introduce himself to us. So whatever you are doing, just get a cup of coffee, just sit in your sofa and relax, because I promise that you're going to enjoy today's episode. So let's get started. All right, so welcome.
Thank you, Moses.
Yeah.
The pleasure is all mine.
Thank you for honoring our invitation. So I want us to start with a self-introduction. Can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Definitely. So my name is Teekay Duncan, born from a Mozambican father and a Malawian mother, but born and raised in Zimbabwe. Also have encounters in South Africa, Zambia, Botswana, and Canada. So I'm a filmmaker, content creator, and also a media personnel. Who is done, cannot say much, but I feel a handful of works in Africa and also across the world, and they have had global recognition, as I also hold more than 10 international awards, including the United Nations and IOM International Immigration Award of 2019. So basically,
wow, that was an introduction. Boss, thank you. So you know, now I know he just said a lot in a minute, but don't worry. In the next few minutes, I'm going to ask him to break down how he was able to achieve all that, coming from a multi-background, parents being related to several countries, and then he growing up, his whole passion and his whole switch into the media. I'm going to ask him to explain to us. So just relax. So can you tell us, growing up, how was it? I mean, let's say from grade 1 up to like the middle school. How was life like? Where did you live basically?
For me, I was raised in the capital city of Zimbabwe, which is Harare. So we are 5 in our family, and I'm the middle child. I have 1 older brother, 1 younger brother, 1 older sister, 1 younger sister. So I'm the perfect version of a middle child. With that said, I think I grew up different from my siblings because I was always interested in art. Okay. From a young age, I would draw. Like, I see a cartoon on TV. When I get a paper and a pen, I draw it like it was me who animated the cartoons I would have seen on TV. So basically, that's how it started. But where I come from, it wasn't something even the teachers would applaud you for. I remember getting beaten for it. Like, he's always drawing in class, he's always doing this. Where we come from, the teachers would want you to be something like a pilot, a doctor, a lawyer, not for you to be somewhere in the art sector. Yeah.
It's like those that want to venture into the art sector are looked down.
Yeah, looked down upon. And usually I don't blame them, because it's more like the thing, like we don't have like role models when it comes to certain artists. Most who came before us don't have much to show. So I feel like our parents and our society would be coming from a place of love. Like, they love you enough to wish you well in life. So they don't see it, you making it as an artist. So they have this perception like, I cannot wish for my child to do this, because they don't have any idol to look upon to say they're doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So to sum that up, it means that growing up as a kid, as a young boy with the interest in art, you kind of found it difficult to try to let those around you get to understand what you were really passionate about.
Yeah, definitely. There are certain things I really enjoyed doing, but I couldn't do it, especially with my mom watching. My dad was kind of different. He wanted me to be me, the best version of myself. But another thing which ended up making life difficult for me to pursue this dream was like, I was quite good in school. So I ended up, like in high school, I ended up being in a science class. So already my mom, this doctor, engineer field, pilot kind of thing she was seeing in me. But still, my passion was still in art and media. So even when I decided, like after high school, to pursue like media studies, IT, and other things like that, at first my mom wasn't really up for it. But later on, because I made a promise to myself, like, if I'm going to do this, I want to make my family proud. I want to make my mom proud. So the more I did that, coming from that honest place, I achieved more. So she couldn't hate it anymore. She was like, wow, if you have managed to do this, then continue to do that.
Exactly. So I want you to quickly add it. How was the switch up from your basic education to your high school and then getting to your first degree? How was the switch like? How was the family acceptance? And then how did everything come about? The basis of everything.
Yeah, apparently my story is a crazy one, because I had to drop out of my first program, like a program which my mother wanted me to do. Because after high school.
Okay.
So I had a program I was doing, which my mom wanted me to do. But I had a talk, I think it was 6 months later after I started that program, with my dad. Because my dad asked me a simple question, but it was really a tough question. Like,
what was that?
TK, are you happy? I'm like, yeah, I'm happy. Like, no. I mean, are you happy with what you're doing and where your life is going? Especially when it comes to your education. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Then he was like, why are you doing this then? Then I'm like, because mom wants me to do this. Then he was like, this is your life, son. Some of us didn't grow up with a lot of opportunities, and you got the opportunity to be whoever and whatever you want to be. So I advise you to do whatever you want. Don't use your mom as an excuse, because if your life don't work out for you, it doesn't work out for you. Your mom ain't to blame in that. So I had to drop out of that program. Then, because my mom wasn't supporting what I was about to do, I found work. Then I started working so that I can pay my tuition for the program I wanted to do.
Okay, so it means, okay, I get it. That was for your second program.
Yes,
is that the media studies?
It was IT.
IT.
First I did IT. Then as I was doing IT, my love for media and arts was still in me. So I would still go on sets, like film sets, just to carry cables, just to see what's happening on a film set, because people think like I started big. No, I started from humble beginnings. I would carry cables. I would ask even how do you get the camera on? How do you press record? How do you do all those things? And I'm glad I started from the bottom, because it made me learn and appreciate even anyone on the set, from the guy who's carrying cables, from the guy who put on the lights, the guy who does the sound. everybody, because work on a film set is more like work on the body. Like you need the arm as much as you need the eyes,
The
as
eye.
much as you need the legs.
Exactly.
It's a whole body parts kind of thing.
They all have to come together to make sure
Exactly.
everything functions. Exactly.
Definitely.
I get it. So I'm impressed. So I want us to talk about the main work, right? The mainstream media work.
Yeah.
How did it begin? How did it begin officially? How did you see yourself creating these big and marvelous contents? What was the genesis of that big chapter?
I think for me, before when I was doing my IT in my high school, I also loved music. So I used to sing a lot. So with me singing, it made me become friends with artists
Okay.
and also actors and also filmmakers. So they would,
This is in Zimbabwe, right?
yeah, this is in Zimbabwe. So
Okay.
they would always invite me like wherever they are doing their works, and
Okay.
because of my energy as well, people would say, we love your energy, we need you around, come through. And I would never complain, even if they put so much work on me. I'll just come and
They
do
don't
my
pay you?
If they don't pay me, I don't even mind. For me, I'll be excited. I was with such and such, till a point in time whereby I was like, so the idea, because I also have a media company, the idea of that media company started off in primary.
Okay.
I used to tell my friends, like, one day I'll have a media company. And by then, nobody knew what that was, So even my teachers were like, at times beating me up for it. You cannot say you want to have a media company,
You have to say, I want to
have
build a hospital.
Exactly. So I think after high school, a friend of mine reminded me from primary, like, TK, do you remember, like in primary, you used to say you wanted to start like a media
Media
company? So yeah, I started off with a magazine. So the magazine, I would interview certain celebrities in my country, but because I also had some works I had done as an artist, it was easier for me to approach certain people.
Yeah.
Like, come through for my show, I want to interview you for a magazine. They liked it, and it received quite well around my country. Then I remember going to South Africa for some time, also pushing my music and also pushing that brand.
Yeah.
Till a point in time, the two now, like, it was me being grabbed by both hands. The left is pulling me, the right is pulling me.
you.
So I had to choose which way I want to lean further, because by then I think I had released a track I had done with a guy from Australia. His name is Vickley Jet. It was produced by Polo Boy from United States of America. And so I featured this guy. So it was more like 3 continents in one track, like America, Africa, and Australia. So it was more like my music was going well, but as well my passion for filming and media was rising in me.
Yeah.
So when my music career was going well, I decided to choose, like, which way do I want to be pulled on.
Yeah.
Then I decided to go with the film and media. So I had to stop doing music. I had to focus on learning more about the craft. That's when I engaged even on my certification as a filmmaker.
Okay.
And I got that. Then I started to do philanthropy work at the University of Zimbabwe, University of Botswana, and also just in less privileged communities. I would go with my team just to uplift young filmmakers who are not like from the big cities, who are trying to do the work. Then I ended up doing some works for in Zambia, Tanzania, the whole of Southern Africa, and across the world as well. Right now, I also have a film showing in France. I have a contract I have with Gonella Productions from Marseille in France for a 3-year contract for a film. I wrote the film, I directed it, I produced it as well.
Okay.
Then I also did like the documentary for American rapper and business mogul Rick Ross when he came to Africa for his African tour.
Oh.
So yeah, and in my country I also did like a series film which broke about 8 records. It was the first film to be shot in 5 different cities. It also had 5 different languages, including sign language, not as a subtitle, but as part of the languages in a film. Because I also work with people with disabilities, be it people living with albinism, deaf people, blind people. Because I myself, I can also do sign language.
Okay.
It's something I had to learn along the way of finding myself. So, yeah.
What does this mean? What does this mean?
What? No, that means nothing. That means nothing. That means nothing.
You got me on
But
that. Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow. That's amazing. So do you remember your first ever project? Your first ever film project?
Yeah, my
And
first
which year was that? In which year was that?
2018.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a comedy series called Baghdad. But it was taken on an international platform in 2021.
Okay.
So I always tell this story about people like patience pays. Like I did this production in 2018,
18.
and it had to take it 3 years for it to be noticed by a bigger brand,
Yeah.
which was Econet Sasai, who then took it to their platforms and all. But it was 3 years later. So imagine another person can give up. Like I did this today, they're expecting rewards tomorrow. So for me, that was more like the first major project, 2018. And
it was a comedy series, right?
yeah, it was a
How
comedy
was
series.
it? Can you tell us the content? How was it?
Apparently,
You
like
forgot?
it was the first. No, I can never forget the first. Like it's like a first child, you know.
Yeah.
Because I always call my films my babies.
Mhm.
Like I got so many babies
I
when
get
it comes to films. So that's my first, and I can never forget it. So I had two friends. One, the family was based in Tanzania.
Mm.
Then he had his uncle. They were younger than me, both. Then they knew my passion I had for filming.
Mhm.
Then they also told me like we love to act.
Okay.
So by then I was trying to find actors, but I couldn't because actors would ask you like, what other projects have you done before?
Yeah.
And because you don't have that resume, nobody wanna work with you. So they were the two I got, and we were trying to make the best out of each other. And what we created was spectacular. We ended up, I think by the third or fourth episode, we now had people asking to be part of the crew now.
Yeah.
Like, okay, oh, we want to come through to your film. What? But at first it was just the two of them and me and the other guy who was helping me with the camera work as well. Shout out to Terry for that.
Yeah. All right. I see. So, moving on from your first, how was the leap like? After you did that first series of shots, and then
Yeah.
you got other people coming in.
Yeah.
How did that transition? Because I want us to see the whole kind of step process,
Ah.
right? How did it transition from your first shoot
Yes.
to you doing other bigger stuff? So,
Yeah.
was there any link between those?
Yeah, definitely. There was a great link because the following year, 2019, I was on the internet, I guess. I was out of the country for a bit. Then I was on the internet. I saw a call for United Nations
Okay.
and IOM, like International Organization for Migrants.
Okay.
They were having a call for filmmakers
Mhm.
to create content on a concept which is based on migrants.
Yeah, illegal
Yeah,
immigration.
yeah.
Okay.
So for me, because I move a lot from country to country, I was like, wow, this is an opportunity for me to showcase some of my talents and work.
Yeah.
So I sent my pilot, and funny how they received, I think, over 18,000 films that year from
18,000
from
films.
over 120 countries. So I was like, I doubt they'll even see mine, you know. Funny how months later I got a message like, oh, we liked your film.
How many were shortlisted out of the 18K? How
I
many?
think at first it was 200.
Wow.
Yeah. From the 18K, at first it was 200. So I received an email like, you made it to the first 200. Wow. What, for me, it was a major milestone. I even celebrated it with my folks, I remember. Then I think a few weeks down the line, I had made it to 100.
Mhm.
What?
The top 100.
Yeah, top 100. Then again, so they'll be doing these checks, screenings and stuff. Then after a while, I had made it to the top 50. What? Then I remember when I made it to the top 50 or top 20, I think, I was at home at my parents' house that day.
In Zim?
Yeah, in Zim. The call came. So in Zim, like we're talking in our local language, we're talking in Shona because my parents are there, you know.
Yeah.
So when the call came, I'm like, what's this number? Plus what? Okay, I just answered it. Hello. Then I'm hearing, hi, are we talking to Teekay Duncan? Okay, we're from Wada, Switzerland, Geneva, you know, would like to talk to you more. And I'm like, okay, what's happening here? You know, so people started to look at me different because we're
Yeah.
just having a perfect conversation, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going like that. Okay, so what's happening here? Then they're like, are you free right now for an impromptu interview? I'm like, how can I say no to this? Yeah, I'm free. I'm like, everybody out. you know. Yeah, so I had that interview, and there were, I think, 5 different guys from 5 different nationalities,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Then okay, they liked what I had done. Then if you make it to the top 10, we would like you to come through to Switzerland as well. Then if you become the winner, you'll be getting such and such and such.
Mm.
You know, so everything from there, it just started off to be a roller coaster. Then I ended up winning it. I ended up getting some gear out of it. I remember that was the first time I had my picture taken with my country's flag right behind me. You know, then I'm like, it's only a year in,
Yeah.
and I'm already here.
Yeah.
So by then, for me, it also what brought the transition for me to have a clear mindset, like this is meant for me.
Yeah.
By then, I wasn't really sure. Before then, I was like, did I make the right decision? Did I? But after that, I was like, nah, I
This
ain't
is
going
it.
back. This
This
is
is
it.
it.
This is it. God, I prayed for a sign, and
Wow.
God gave me one.
Wow.
So ever since then the following year again, I worked with Miss Deaf Pride Zimbabwe, which is an organization which
What
deals with
organization was
deaf
that?
models.
Okay.
Miss Deaf Pride Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Yeah. So previously I'd worked with them when even one of their models went to Eritrea for the Miss Africa Deaf models, you know, so I was part of the team and stuff. So I had introduced a thing whereby we can shoot films as well,
Yeah.
deaf films.
Mm-hmm.
Then one of our films we shot, we also sent it to Switzerland for another festival, which had an organization called Yet involved, and it won. So each year I would know I would get another award,
Award,
another
yeah.
award, another award. Till a point in time, 2022, I did my first short film,
Mm-hmm.
which was called Teddy Bear.
Okay.
And it won about 8 international awards in Nigeria, in France, in UK, and in the US of A. Then last year,
Mhm.
2023,
Yeah.
that's when I was approached by a French company like
Mhm.
Gonella Productions. Like, we want your film, want to promote it, want to sell it worldwide. So I got a 3-year contract out of it.
Yeah.
Then that year, 2022, I also did another short film called Simbimbino, which I did with a smartphone. Because people always had the idea that because I had bought like Blackmagic cameras and other like filming cameras, that's why I had an advantage over like other filmmakers.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, let me show you I can also do it even with a smartphone.
Smartphone.
I shot a film on a smartphone. Then I entered on Smartphone International Film Awards. Then I won in the Smartphone African International Film Award. That was in Nigeria again. Then some other global, you know, events and festivals
Yeah.
with that smartphone film. Then after that, yes, I did the Rick Ross tour to Africa.
I was just about to touch
Yeah.
on that. How were you able to pull that off? I mean,
Like-
what did Rick Ross come to do? And then, I mean, how was the invitation? How did you get to be the media person behind to take those shots?
Apparently, I think what I can say is, because for me to say I did it, I feel like I'm giving myself the flowers which are not even mine. I prefer to say God did it for me.
Yeah.
Like, I believe I'm not even the best filmmaker. There's still a lot of work I need to do, but I feel like when I do it from an honest perspective, and I'm so passionate about it. Like, when I'm doing it, it seems like everything pauses for a second. It's just me in that moment, and I pay attention to detail, and I'm like, I give it my all.
That
I
is
don't want to lie. For me, it's more like it's either we're doing it with our hearts in it, or even without our hearts in it, we're still doing it and giving out our best. So I feel like the work ethic Cristiano Ronaldo has in the football pitch is the same work ethic I also have when it comes to filming. So it will be a matter of time when God aligns you with the people who will notice that. And when the call came, I was even surprised. Like,
Yeah.
at first you think it's a prank or something like that. Like, stop playing, man. Who is this?
You're lucky.
Who is this? Is this Moses?
You even insult them.
Yeah, Moses, stop playing. Stop playing, man. I know it's your voice, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, that's how it always happens. Like,
Yeah.
when the call come, I'm nervous, but one thing I'll tell you, I'm always prepared. Like there's this thing I always tell people, like I'm born ready. There's never a day and time an opportunity will knock on my door and I'll say I'm not ready.
I mean,
No, no,
man,
no, no, no.
to this that you're saying, I myself in the past 2 days I've experienced it twice from you. So for that, I kind of 100% agree with that. Yeah, so it's very true. I mean, it's one of those things that if you want to be an achiever, you must always have one of those abilities, because you don't know when an opportunity is going to knock on your door.
True.
And you don't want to be in a situation where you are found wanting, oh, I want to do this, I have to do this first, An opportunity comes, you have just 1 minute to make a decision.
True.
You don't have 1 hour, you don't have a day. So
True.
being ready is very key.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And another thing I also live by is the concept of being a student forever. Like, even when I feel like I know enough, I always feel like enough is not enough.
Yeah.
I have this concept, like I always tell even the people I impart my knowledge to, I always tell them, be forever a student. Just feel like there's something new you can learn. Even me being here, you might think you're the one to learn from me, but there are also certain things I'm learning from you, a lot per se. That's me. Wherever I go, whatever I'm doing, I want to learn. That's why you've been asking, like, how did you get to even do all that? Like, even when I'm at another gig, a call will come for another gig. I'll be like, okay, I'm here, but I'll finish here on this day. And they'll be like, okay, we're buying you a ticket.
Okay.
We need you to fly to this country. And I'm
Okay.
like, I'm down with that. I don't even need time to rest if it comes to filming. For me, I'm always feeling like there's so much more to do.
Exactly.
Like I even remember when we were touring around Africa doing what they called the National School Quiz Championships, which was airing in 54 countries. I was the cinematographer. I was part of the editors. I was also the assistant director for that show, which was showing on Multi Choices DSTV, which is the biggest streaming
Platform in Africa.
in Africa.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of works on DSTV on my tag, So a lot of these, that's why I say it is not by me. It can only be God's doing. Because even coming from where I come from, even me being here, it's really and truly a blessing. Because I remember even making the transition to come to China.
Yeah.
Tell you what, because I had an option to before here I was in Canada, right?
Yeah.
So I had an option to stay in Canada, because in Canada I'd gone through filming as well, and there are 1 or 2 people there as well. But the whole idea to them was like they put China here and they put Canada here. To them it was more like a no-brainer. I'll choose Canada over China.
Yeah.
But to them I gave them a shocker, like, nah, going to China. Yeah, China is the one I'm choosing. Why? Because I also want to learn the language. Because I'm also interested in the filming techniques of the Chinese. They have a different filming technique from the Americans and the Europeans per se. So I'm also interested in that. And I also love the culture in China.
Yeah.
Like even their mantra of one for all for one. I feel like there's so me, like even in my country, I try to give back. I think for the past 4 years, I celebrate my birthday at an orphanage. I don't party at my birthday. I get a cake, I get presents, I give them all. If you want to eat my cake on my birthday, just know we're going together at the orphanage. No, even a slice of cake will get back home.
Yeah.
So, it's a thing I always live by. Like, if you want to make the world a better place, it starts with you. Don't wait for a millionaire to do something. What is you doing with your 10 kwai? What is you doing with your 50 kwai? That's where I always start thinking about.
Exactly. I'm short of words, man. I'm short of words. So I want to ask you, I mean, with all these amazing stuff that you've been able to do for yourself, I mean, this must be a challenging one, but do you ever have any challenge, or what has been one of the most biggest obstacles or the most hardest obstacles or hurdles that have come your way that you nearly ever came to the point of quitting, or something that really was a shocker to your whole media process? Is there any obstacle that you can share with us?
Yeah, like for me, I think change is inevitable, but change is also hard. And sometimes it's the hardest when the people around you are the ones who start changing before you even do. Like imagine, as an example, Moses, you make it, right? Then let's say I was your close friend, or let's say I was there for you, right? Then I start to be the one acting some type of way. Like, we feel like you're too big for us or
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But you still feel like your homies are your homies. So I also had to deal with that, but I'm glad I had to deal with that at the early stages of my career, because I knew the ones who stayed, they were the ones who are meant for my destiny. The ones who left, they are not even meant
Yeah,
to
not
be.
meant to be there.
Yeah, because by the moment they started like acting some type of way, by then I hadn't even made it to an international award yet. But they started acting some type of way.
Yeah.
Probably because I had even bought a camera. Did you get? So I'm always thinking like, God will also remove unnecessary people from your path, so that you create space for the right people to come through.
Yeah.
And I also live by this mantra as well, whereby I feel like whatever is meant for you will always come for you. And the hardships don't kill you, will only make you stronger. Like, I don't want to go much on the hardships because I always feel like
Life is life
like
in itself.
yeah. Like, tell you what,
It's a big hardship.
yeah, imagine, let's say you're a basketball player, you've been on the bench for quite a long time, right? Just because you've been patient by being on the bench, another player might get hurt who plays the same position and you, and the downfall of that person or the injury of that person is more like your
your time to
upliftment. So I feel like even when I was called for the Rick Ross gig or any other big gig, probably there were other people in the debate. Like, we could take this one, we could take this one, we could take. But
Exactly.
God would align it to make sure I was the one to be chosen for that. But probably chances are high, by then I'm also going through my stuff. Like, probably things are not working out quite well. I'm like, God, why are you doing this? But God is actually creating a table for me.
Exactly.
The one I don't even realize is creating. But now that I'm aware that everything which happens in my life happens for my own good, even the bad things, it doesn't take time for me to appreciate a bad day. Like, what? This has happened. And even most of my friends can testify to that. Like, your energy, bro, your energy. Is it when you're alone you cry? I'm like, no. What you see is what you get. It's just me all the time. I don't believe God will give me like trials and tribulations I cannot, run over. For me, I feel like it's always a setup for something great.
Yeah.
And I have this thing, in most cases, before I realize something great, something bad happens.
Yeah.
Something like I sit back and say, God, why did you do this? Before I ask again, God already answers with another bigger project, with another bigger opportunity. So yeah, for me, and also don't go with the grain. Like, where everybody's going, I don't go there.
You don't follow the crowd.
No. Tell you what, ever since I've been in China, I think I've only gone out once. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just once. I've only gone out once. Like, where a lot of people are, you hardly find me there unless I'm doing something there.
Yeah. There for a purpose.
Yeah. That's just me. I don't just go with the crowds and stuff. Yeah. That's why I even chose China against Canada. Everybody thought
wanted you
it
to
was a
go to
no-brainer. Canada. But
Yeah.
nah, because for me, I would want to visit a lot of places, like especially in Africa. Ghana is also doing a lot film-wise, and it's one of the countries I need to visit. I
Okay.
must visit.
We'll link up in Ghana.
Yeah,
We need
definitely.
to link up in Ghana.
Definitely. Like, they're doing the most, because I feel like I can always take some of the things I learned from other countries back to my country. Yeah. Because even though my mother's tribe and my father's tribe are not originally from Zimbabwe, I strongly feel that I'm Zimbabwean. And everything I do, I try to uplift the Zimbabwean flag.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's so amazing. That's amazing. So, I want to ask you. Currently, content creation is on the rise.
Yes.
I mean, everybody wants to be a content creator, right?
Definitely.
With your experience in the past years of what you've done, and then with what you are doing now, right? If you were to begin what you are doing, if you were to start now, how were you going to do it? I mean, what advice are you going to give to those new ones that have the passion or that have the idea to venture into filmmaking, content creation, video making, what advice are you going to give them that is going to help them to do things on a much faster pace, on a much better pace? What are those advice that you can give them to the new ones that want to come in the game?
That's a great question. Wow. That's a very great question. The first and far most important point would be that, like, start with what you got and start from where you are. You know, everything will just start to align itself from that point going onwards. You know, and again, be resilient, be patient, be consistent, don't go with the grain. Like any other field, I feel like filming and the media space is just like school. You also need to give it your all for you to have a good pass grade, right? So when it comes to filming as well, you also need to give it your all. You need to be passionate, feel it first before even the people you want to engage to whatever you're creating feel it. You know, when you lose touch with your works, I'm sure even the audience will certainly do. But what I can give is, no matter where you are, no matter your upbringing, no matter your resources, you can still be a content creator. Like, I wish I was born in this day and age. Like right now, I wish I was 15. Like seriously, even a 15-year-old can make crazy content these days. These days, there are cameras, even phones, whereby you can just pick, like I can focus just by the tap of the finger. When we started filming, you had to focus manually. You know, it was super hard. So right now, I feel like everything is moving along the way of content creation. Like I think in each and every country, content creation has risen so much. And everybody, even companies, corporates are now engaging in content creation, which means it's now even an industry on its own. So I would acknowledge everybody who wants to try the business to do it, and never fear like how many people are doing it. There's always enough the statement goes like this: there is always enough fish in the sea. You know, so you catch yours, they'll catch theirs. So for me, that's all about it. And I would also want to see more people doing it, because the movement can only be a movement when more people are doing it. It cannot be a movement when only you and me are doing it. How other people perceive it, like, this is ours, we don't want people to but if they don't come in, it will just stay between the two of you. But if you want it to grow, you know, you need other hands, you need other minds, you know. So for me, I'm always applauding and also trying to uplift all those who are trying to get in the game, just to do it right and to also do it for the right reasons. You know.
Exactly. And that's some very big words of inspiration for all those young ones that are coming in, the new ones that are coming in, those that have the passion and the interest to get into content creation. I think these are just the right words that they need. So I think it goes to all of us. You know, sometimes you have this passion, you have this idea that you want to turn into something, but you need that little motivation. So I think that the words that Mr. Duncan just shared with us is just enough of a motivation to everyone that is watching this video, that has that idea, that wants to churn out something so far as media or content creation is concerned. So finally, what is your final word for my audience? What is the final word for the audience?
For the audience. First, again, I'll go back like to all those who want to get into content creation, filmmaking, or media spaces. Like, one of the most important things is collaboration is key, especially when you're on the come up. You need to collaborate, because on your own you don't have everything. Imagine maybe you only have one camera, but probably to shoot something proper you need 2 more cameras. So go to a friend who's also in the same media space and you understand with, then you collaborate, then you create whatever you can create. So collaboration is necessary and it's key. One man cannot conquer an island. You know, so you need other heads and hands for you to get that done. And also, secondly, and most importantly, remain forever a student. Never think you know enough. Never act like you know enough. Just be patient with the process. Even if you get to a point people feel like you've done a lot, feel like there is still more to be done, you live by that and you die by that. Don't let people's um aspirations ruin the you which wants to create stuff. Then lastly, to the people who are watching, I just want to say, in all works of life, let's be human first and be other things later. Let's be good to each other. Let's spread love, not hate. Yeah, forever be a student in whatever space you in, and also appreciate the good which others are doing, and don't go with the grain. It's also okay to choose your own path, which really works for you. You know.
Thank you so much. So the first one that we got was to what's the first point again? I forgot.
I know I talk too much.
I forgot. I think the first one was to just begin what you have to
Yeah, with what you
just start,
have.
yeah, because there is, I mean, there is so much fish in the sea, so for everyone
Yes.
to get it. And then the second one is to what's the second one also?
The second one
Yeah.
was like I don't even remember, do I?
I was keeping those points that I just forgot. I just forgot them.
Anyway, I think I mentioned two different things, like for those who want to come up and for those who are doing
I
it.
think, yeah, to collaborate.
Yeah,
Try to
collaboration.
collaborate
Yeah,
with
yeah,
others.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Try to collaborate with
Collaboration
others.
and being forever a student
Yeah,
as
being
well.
forever a student.
Yeah.
So collaborate. Remember to collaborate all the time. If you have friends around you that you think have the same energy, share the same kind of passion, try to link up with them. Try to pull up something together. And then also remember that learning never ends. Always remember to be a student, because once you're a student, you have that perspective of trying to listen to others. But once you have the idea that you already know it, the probability that you're going to listen to someone talking to you or even hear what they are saying is very low, because you already think you know what they are going to say, or you think you don't need any information from them. So it's always better to be a student.
Yeah,
because
and there's
learning
another
never
one
ends.
thing I had forgotten to talk about. It's
Yeah.
criticism, people. Like, we live in a space where we get criticized every day.
Yeah.
And as a creative, you need to learn to accept criticism, be it negative or positive. Criticism is good for your craft, it's good for your health. And when you allow criticism to come to you and you feel it and you work on it, you get to be better, not only as a person, but even in your craft. Because one too many times people, like, they are quick to defend themselves.
Yeah.
When you tell you, that shot was wrong, the sound is not sounding, you'll be like, no, who is he to tell me that? But sometimes just take a breath, take a breather, listen to the criticism and look at ways you can, work around it and become even better
Yeah.
than what they had criticized about.
Yeah. Exactly. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all that amazing work. And then I'm going to leave the links to some of so where can we find your product actually? Where are your movies? And I mean, where are your movies? How can my viewers be able to get in touch with you or be able to get to see your works?
Okay. We are restructuring our website, but it's still becoming with the same name like before. Global Media. All our works will be there. And you can also go on YouTube, like Global TV.
Okay.
Then as well, you can follow me as TK the Creative on Facebook, and TK Duncan on Instagram. Because I also got some works and some motivational and philanthropy work. I also push, like, on my own side, which is nothing to do with my media company, but it's always media
Yeah.
and filming related, but I try to separate the two. Like, this is too personal for me, but this is work. So, but people are sort of free to contact me either way, or to follow my works either way, whether it's Global Media or a TK Duncan or just a TK the Creative.
All right. So I'm going to leave links to all those profiles, and then please make sure to check it out. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to follow. Make sure to check out all those amazing works in the website, and I'm sure you are going to love it.
And also feel free to collaborate. Yeah, let's collaborate, people.
Exactly.
Right now I'm here in China, but I think I'll be traveling for the winter break as well to other countries, just for collaborations, filming and other things. So wherever you are across the world, let's collaborate. Collaboration is still key for me to this day.
Exactly. Thank you so much for coming.
Moses, it's been a pleasure.